Hey, friends. So it looks like the parties have been called back to the courthouse. We don't know if it's a juror question or if it's we don't know if it's jury question or notification that they have a verdict, but they have been called. So I'm going to pull up law and crime. So give me just a second to get this situated. Oh no, you can't see me there. One woman show. Okay, let me fix this. I don't care about the chat. I'm gonna fix me a box. But not today. Okay. Okay, so let's wonder what it's gonna be. I don't know. All this morning, all I've done is watch like some of my favorite people that I liked watching, they all joined on one channel. It was Bob and Ali Mata, Mark Bedro, The Glarer, and who else? Runkle was on there, Andrea Burkhart, Uncivil Law, and they were just all, going back and forth about the verdict forms and what the jurors might have been saying, which I don't know. I felt like they started thinking about it so much they were overthinking it. And everybody's like, what would you do? What would you, if she's not going to answer the questions? This is what I said. And I actually posted on Twitter. And I just said, if she's not going to answer their questions, then mark which one you think is the right answer and then write a note and have the foreman sign under that note and date it. If she's going to be that way, then okay, then we'll just make the forms work so that we can convey what our what we're wanting to say. Because if she's going to be an ass and there's no directions that says you cannot write on this form, you cannot do, then make your own directions so that you can, let everybody, the world, know what you want. And I'm not being frustrated with the jury. I'm just frustrated with Bev and her behavior and her actions through 2 years of this crap. And I'm just ready for it to be over, as everybody is. And yeah. So what would it hurt? Would it hurt anything for them to write on the form, on that page, on that second verdict form slip, and put C note above and put we the jury, blah blah blah. Find that and then sign it. And then if you have to, everybody sign it. All of the jurors. If Bev's gonna play like that, then do what you can to get your verdict across. Because there is no sense in her acting and playing word games. Okay, I hear something going on. Here we go. I'm nervous.
You are unmuted.
Be seated, court is in session.
All right. I appreciate you all getting back here. During the luncheon break, I received word from a court officer that the jury had knocked on the door, indicating that they had a verdict. But before I could even summons everybody into court, shortly thereafter, they knocked again and said they didn't have a verdict. So I asked the court officer to tell them to put that verdict slip in an envelope and seal it.
Thank you.
And to give it to us. Paul, do you have it?
Okay, that was what I was saying too. That was brought up I think Ali Mata was saying.
It's been sealed. I'm now going to seal it in the legal sense. So this is sealed. No one will have access to it. It will be preserved and made part of this record. I'm going to ask it to be marked for identification with the word jury, Chrissy, just to keep it separate and apart from everything else. So it's marked for ID with the word jury.
Anyways, that's what I was saying. Ali Mata was like, why haven't they turned in the other 2 slips if they already have a verdict for those? Well, they probably don't know.
So we do not have a verdict because, as we all know, there is no verdict until it is announced and recorded in open court. So we are still awaiting a verdict. Because it took a while to pull this together, I would ask that everybody remain in the building until the end of the day. So we'll see everybody later.
Thank you.
Okay, let's just hang out just a second. I mean, I don't think she's going to say anything else, but we'll talk about this. Whew. I'm a little nervous, but I'm still so exhausted. Part of it is my vestibular issues, but then part of it is because every day, this is what we wait for. And it's mentally and physically exhausting. Okay, so I guess they're done with that. So back to what I was saying. Get this off. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So Ali Mata on Defense Diaries, if you're not following them, they're really good. Her husband, actually her father-in-law, was the attorney for John Wayne Gacy. He was, for those that don't know, he was an infamous serial killer. And but anyways, they are both her and her husband Bob are both defense attorneys. Learned a lot from them. Some people don't like them, some people do. I mean, you just have to find people that you like and that not necessarily think the way you do, but they can explain things for you to understand and why it's important. And so, like, things that I might like, you may not like, or vice versa. So, but I do like watching them. But anyways, Ali was saying, well, of the 3 slips, why didn't, the jurors turn the other 2 in if they're only stuck on that OUI? So the first slip was the murder, and the third one was leaving a scene after bodily harm or whatever. They probably don't know because guess what? There's no instructions that said, if you want to turn one slip in ahead of the others, you can do that. There are no instructions. And something that I feel like that we should start doing is on these juror instructions, they need to have instructions like, when you were in elementary school. And yes, I was a teacher and I'm always a believer in going back to the basics. But you need to be putting instructions like these are elementary school tests or standardized testing for elementary school kids. Not that anyone is dumb or that level mentally, but so that everybody can comprehend what the instructions are. Again, we talk about how people think differently. I think differently than you think. And it's hard, especially when, some of us we look at the big picture, and then some of us get all bogged down into the details of, like that verdict slip, excuse me. And so that, we've got to work on some kind of instructions for our jurors that will not taint or, make them lean either way. And I've been trying to think, what if we could have somebody in there to answer their questions? Well, then there's the question, do we trust this person? How do we know this person is not going to try to sway them either way? I thought about maybe some kind of condensed book if they had a question. But then you've got that whole thing of what if somebody wrote something in there, wrote a note to the jurors to do this or do, there's always that we could do this, but then there's that negative aspect of it as well. But that is something that, I want to try to see, what I can do to help, because I always say, and it doesn't matter what kind of relationship, it can be work relationship, family relationship, romantic relationship, friendship. Communication is key. And if you can't communicate, nobody knows what the hell is going on. And that has been one of the main issues with this trial and from trial one is communication. And who's to blame? Beverly Cannoni. And she has made it very difficult, not only for the defense attorneys to be able to communicate, because she, as you saw yesterday, she would cut Jackson off when he was trying to put some things on the record for his defendant. She doesn't listen. She only listens. She doesn't. What's the saying? She doesn't listen. She only listens to respond. She's not actually listening. Like, in other words, she's already got her response in her head. And you'll hear her on some things. She'll say, well, tell me what you think. Like, what's your argument? But I already know what I'm going to put. But I want to hear what you have to say. Well, you're just saying right there that you're going to do whatever you want to do. You don't care what they have to say. So why are you even offering them to speak if you already know what you're going to do? I mean, that's, number one, it's rude. And I mean, I'm not a lawyer, and I try not to use the words like some people say, I digress, when they're like getting off track or things like that. And I don't use that terminology because I'm not an attorney. But I will say that I feel like it's improper for her to behave that way. And I know I'm not the only one that can think that. But I am going to, before I forget, I did get copies of the updated verdict slips that I wanted to share with you guys. So, and while I'm doing that, don't forget that to please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, like and please share. I am trying to get some viewers and really get my channel to going. And I also want some feedback. Like, do you like lives better than recorded? Because I do both. I like to do recorded because that way I've got time to research. I've got time to make sure I back my facts up, and I do like to be creative with some of my videos. But then I also like lives because then you can get some feedback in real time and you can have conversations, especially me, because it's just me on my channel. And so I'd like people to converse with and see what they're thinking, and what can we do together as lay people to help solve some of these problems, because these problems are not going away. And you can say, oh, they don't affect me. I don't live in Massachusetts. No, but the law affects everyone in the United States. And like I said, if other judges see, hey, I can get away with this. They got away with it in Massachusetts, and it was streaming live on TV. Then guess what? It's going to be happening everywhere. And we need to stop. It needs to stop, and judges need to be held accountable. And I'm working on some thoughts about that as well. And who am I going to share them with? I don't know. But I'm going to figure out who I need to talk to, because I'm a concerned citizen. This is something I waited too long in life to care about. Let's see, where are those verdict slips? Oh, I know. And Jess Machado shared these. So hang tight just a second. See, that's the other thing with lives. I'm not prepared, especially like when it was like, hey, they're heading back to court. Oh, okay. And then like some people, they can just talk and talk and talk and talk, and they like to hear themselves talk. Not me. I like to have a purpose. Otherwise, I feel like it's a waste of time. Waste of my time and your time. Okay. I sure would like to know what forms that was. which counts. I'm sorry, I'm transferring this photo over to my main computer. Okay. Just hang tight with me. I wish I had someone like music to play that wouldn't go against YouTube, because my playlist is very eclectic and it's awesome, if I have to say so myself. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Okay. So, do y'all think we're going to get a jury sometime today? I mean, a verdict sometime today? I'm just wondering. I mean, they're going to be closed. The courthouse is going to be closed tomorrow. So, and then they would come back Friday. So, I really am glad they're taking it seriously, though. Well, not that the others weren't. It's just I feel like these people have some common sense and understand reasonable doubt. And that is so important. I mean, that needs to be taught to everybody every day, because you never know when you're going to be a juror. Or maybe there needs to be some kind of classes, like when you are going to be a juror and you know for sure that you're going to be on a case, then I don't like being so there. Okay. Let me see if this is the first one. Of course, I can't see it right there. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Okay, let me share this one. Okay, yes, I'm looking at the same one. Okay, so the updated verdict slip. Oh, you know that the defense tried um to send an motion to update, and she refused. That got done anyways. Okay. All right. So now it says, and I'll just, it says Commonwealth, Massachusetts, Commonwealth versus Karen Reed, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Offense to manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. And remember, this is the second page that had all those options, and it didn't say if you check here, then do this. It was very confusing. So let's see how this one reads. Okay. In the above entitled case, we, the jury, say that the defendant is 1, not guilty of the offense charged or any lesser included offense. I love that. It's just not guilty. Okay. Then in parentheses and in bold, it says, if you find the defendant not guilty of the offense charged or any lesser included offense, stop and sign the verdict slip. I mean, perfect. So in other words, if you choose that number 1 and you don't think she's guilty of anything else, then you stop right there and you sign it. And then you're done. Okay. So let's go ahead and read them. My glasses are dirty. Okay. The second one says guilty of offense as charged. And then it's got a colon. Now remember, punctuation is important. And this is something that, and actually I caught it myself when I was reading through it. And then Peter off of Lawyer brought it up about the commas, the semicolons, and the colons. And it's very important to know this punctuation so that you'll know how to read it. So, guilty of offenses as charged, colon. Okay. So, in other words, you're going to have a selection. Manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. Okay. Then check one or both of the following. Manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor, which is the same as what we just read, and or manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08% or greater. Okay. So, in other words, if they think she is guilty of manslaughter while operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, then they would put not guilty. But if they thought she was guilty of that and they believed her blood alcohol level was above that 0.08%, then they would check both. They would put, let's see, I guess they would put maybe a check mark by number 2 and then a check mark by the 2 underneath that, which it repeats itself, and then the and or the blood alcohol level. But thinking about it, with that extrapolation test that was done, we don't know when Karen had last had a drink. And I personally would say, just because they explained how that testing worked when they drew that and then worked their way back to determine how much her alcohol, I don't, I mean, I believe in science, but I don't believe, unless it happened right, within a few hours, when they pulled it, I don't think, you don't know when she last had a drink. That's the part of the equation that's missing for me to figure out if she would be guilty. And this is just, let's play in devil's advocate. I'm not saying she's guilty of any of this. I'm just saying, if I was a juror and I was thinking of, manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08% or greater, the science is incomplete for me, or the math for the equation is incomplete, because the jurors, they asked the question, are we going to say 12:45, which, even according to the evidence, if they remember, because I don't think it was made to be a big deal this time around as it was the first trial, but Karen's phone connected to John's Wi-Fi when she got to his house after she dropped him off at, I believe it was like 12:36. So 12:45, she was at home or his house. And there was also, on one of the voicemails she left for him after she got home, where you can hear her heels clicking going into the house, I think. So there's that part of the equation is missing, is the time to determine how accurate that test would be or not. That's the part, to me, like, okay, so you figured out the formula for the extrapolation test. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the time's missing. We don't know what time. What time are you basing this off of? How long had it been since she had a drink? If they said it in testimony, that's great. I just don't remember, and I don't take notes. So, but that would be the problem. That I would have to go with reasonable doubt because on that part, because I don't know what time she last had a drink. Did she have a drink last at the waterfall, or did she go home after she dropped John off and drink? I mean, that's a possibility too. She could have been drinking and calling and blessing him out. I mean, we've all done that. We've all blessed our significant others out on the phone, drinking or not. So that's the way my mind thinks. I can see it either way. And if my mind sees it either way, then I call that reasonable doubt, because it can reasonably happen. And, oh, somebody just told me verdict in, but I think, think, let me check. Okay, let me go to Twitter right quick. Make sure in the chat, does anybody know if another verdict has come in? And for all the trolls on Twitter, y'all be nice. I'm looking, bear with me. Okay. I'm still double checking. Everybody's, let's see here. Okay. Okay. So we got a verdict. Okay, let me go back to that and we'll talk about this later if we need to. Let me go back to that because I'm looking at Aiden and they're saying we got a verdict. Oh my gosh, I'm getting lightheaded. I'm so nervous right now. I'm not kidding. Y'all bear with me. Okay. All right. So like I said, one of my okay. Yes. Yes, Heather Kennedy. They did market jury to keep it as a record, but I'm hearing that they've called them back again. So I'm trying to say I'm going on Twitter right now. Y'all, I'm nervous and I got chills. Okay, so let's see. 3 minutes ago, Aiden Turtleboy tweeted, Karen Reed is giving huge hugs to her team of interns. Her lawyers are hugging her parents. This is extremely emotional. There are thousands of people standing outside in anticipation. Okay. Aiden, 7 minutes ago, said Jim McDermott, which is the court clerk, that sits in front of Judge Bev, just said it's going to be about 10 to 20 minutes before we are called into the courtroom. Get your ass to Dedham. Okay, this is it, folks. Thank you to my friend that texted me because I was just thinking it was just that one. Y'all, I'm nervous. I'm not kidding. Like, I feel sick at my stomach and chills, and I got a hot flash. Yeah. Okay. Let's finish looking at this slip right quick, and I'll be listening for them. I hope I can talk about it, y'all. I've never been this nervous. Okay, if I cry, y'all just I'm sorry, and I may not, but I may cry. I don't know. We'll see. It's just when you've been so invested for 2.5 years and visited those people and got to see Karen. I mean, I didn't like get to speak to Karen, but I did get to say hey, and they acknowledged me as they drove by. I've got it on video. I have to share it with y'all sometime soon, probably in celebration. I'll make a celebratory video. But anyways, so y'all, now I can't think. My ADD is like going into overdrive. And yes, I took my meds. Okay. All right. So back to the verdict slip. And yes, I'm paying attention to the fan. I can see it. Okay. So like I said, I would not have found that would have been like, you know, on that 0.8, no, out the door. And manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle, no, because we know based on John's injuries, he was not hit by a car. The science proved there was no collision. End of story. Then it says in bold, if you find the defendant guilty of manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor, stop and sign the verdict slip. If you find her not guilty of manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor, then continue below. So I really like these instructions. So then it had number 3. It says guilty of lesser included offense. Then it says involuntary manslaughter. If you find the defendant guilty of the lesser included offense of involuntary manslaughter, stop and sign the verdict slip. If you find her not guilty of involuntary manslaughter, then continue to the next page. This is how it should have been in the first place. So, Massachusetts, you need to be listening up and you need to be making some changes. All right, we're going to look at the second page. I don't hear anything yet. I'm paying attention. Okay, let's see here. That's the same thing. Okay, so I got it down. I did it twice. Okay. I wonder why I got it twice. Let me make sure. No, I cannot with this. Jess Machado just said, I actually don't even know what to say. I'm the same. Okay, let's go to Twitter. If I can get to, well, I don't want to lose that. Aiden says the crowd outside was told not to make noise after the verdict is announced. Based on all the noise I hear outside and the intense emotions in this courtroom, this will be impossible to enforce. And I believe it because they have been so quiet this whole time. So, yes, Jess Machado got in. Oh, no, she didn't. She submitted her pass to get in the randomizer in case there was next week. And of course, she got picked. But anyways, okay. All right, y'all get out your sweet baby Jesus, get out your Buddhas, get out your crosses, whatever you do for prayer. I've got a baby Jesus like Nurse Kim does. A friend of mine gave me this. And then I have it back here on my Zen garden with my Buddha. I am a Christian, but also like some of the teachings of Buddhism. But this is not about religion. This is about Karen Reed. Okay, let's get this off of here. Oh, yeah, I was going to check and see. Whew. I'll put this back up. My stomach is a knot. Okay, friend of mine that's there, she said it's like a war zone. I don't doubt it with all the police down there. And it was so crowded. And my friend also said the whole street is closed down. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Oh, come on. Let's pray. Please, please I'd rather it just be, let's do all not guilty and be done with Judge Bev and this court and then work on getting some things fixed. And Norfolk, in your own town, like I said, I've been following this not only because of how I am, I find this whole case relatable in my own personal ways, but also coming from a small town in Alabama, every place has their small things going on. It's the people call it the oh boys or the good old boys club. I don't even call it that anymore because I feel like the good old boys have passed on. Now it's their kids, and it's more like, I'll scratch your back if you'll scratch mine. And, that's good if, like, you're trying to get a job. And it's hard when you're young, you're trying to get a job, and it's like, oh, your parents will say, I know so and so, maybe they'll help you get a job. And that's actually what happened for me. And it was a job at Big Lots. It wasn't anything big whoop-de-doo, but it was good that somebody gave me a chance. And then in turn, I was somebody that they could trust, or they knew my daddy. And so that way, they trusted that, okay, let's, he's a good worker. Let's see how his daughter is. And it's that kind of thing. But those people have taken that kind of trust and turned it and twisted it into this nasty thing that is, they call it incestuous. And, everybody's connected. And we're not talking about like Marvel, it's not like the Marvel universe where everybody's connected. It's a bad connection. It's yeah. Oh, you did something bad? Okay. Well, I'll cover for you this time, but next time when I have a problem, you better take up for me. And that's what it is. And then it just spills over and over generations and generations, and it's disgusting, and I hate it. And so we worry about things outside of our country when we need to be worrying about stuff happening here in our own backyards. Oh my gosh, I can't stand this. Y'all, if I pass out, I'm going to first be embarrassed. Two, I can't believe it, but I'm burning up. Normally this room is cool, but I'm hot. I know it's from my nerves. I can't do this. I mean, I can, but oh my gosh. All right, let me go back to. I wish I could share two screens, but I don't know how because I've got some other friends that are boots on the ground. Yeah. Everyone just say your prayers. We want a not guilty verdict across the board. And for the love, if they do find her guilty for that OUI, I swear to goodness, Bev better not give her any jail time. I mean it. She has been through enough. And how come people's... Oh, I guess she rounded up. I'm looking at Nurse Kim. I like Nurse Kim too. She explains a lot of, like a lot of the things about John O'Keefe's injuries. She was really helpful with that. So be sure to subscribe to her channel. But again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please. I am trying to build up some followers, and it's free. All you have to do is hit subscribe. If you don't have a YouTube account, it's free. It's easy to set up, and you don't even have to. I mean, you don't have to. I advise don't use your real name, because there are trolls out there that will dox you. So, but yeah, please subscribe, like this video, and share, please, because we got a verdict and it's in. Let me do a banner right quick, so if people just happen to pop on, they'll know what's going on without me talking. Okay. Verdict is in. Okay. Oh, I put it there. I want it to scroll on the bottom. Let's do this. Okay, they're on.
You are unmuted.
Oh, God. Jeez, please. Oh my God. I don't want to be sick, y'all.
Will the deliberating jurors remain standing? Defendant remains standing. All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are present.
Yes.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict? Yes. Thank you. May I see the papers? Mr. Foreman, have the verdicts that have been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since? Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. So say you, Mr. Foreman? So
We
say
need
you.
that.
No. Do you agree? Yes. Do all of you agree? Yes. Thank you. 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty? Not guilty. Is not guilty or guilty about that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct? Yes. So say you, Mr. Foreman? Guilty. So say you all? Yes. 003, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Is the defendant not guilty or guilty?
Yes.
So say you, Mr. Foreman?
You can hear everybody outside screaming.
Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records that you, upon your oath, say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back. Your service is complete. I'd like to come back and talk to you for a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
All rise. Call me.
Okay, well, we actually won, even though she. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. We won because he didn't get charged for murder nor manslaughter. She only got charged for drinking and driving.
Karen Reed. Not yet.
Tony,
Hold on, everyone. Karen Reed. Ms. Reed, can I have your attention?
Oh, God.
As required by statute, I must inform you that the records regarding the charges that you have been found not guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation by the court unless you notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed. To request that these records not be sealed, you may use the request not to seal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of Probation at the address provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges which you have been found not guilty are sealed, you will be unable to access the sealed record of the not guilty dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies of any documents regarding those charges before the records are sealed, you should request copies from the court within 10 days. Do you understand? Thank you.
All right, so we need a date for sentencing. Can we do it next week?
Can we just do it today?
And we would be prepared to go forward today.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, please let it be today and let's just get this over with. Oh my gosh. I mean, I knew I'd be emotional. All the Reeds, all her mama and daddy. I just want to give them a big old hug. Big hug. Okay, counts. Let's put this 1 and 3. Guilty on the lesser count.
All right, so Ms. Giannetti, you're ready to go forward today as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, Mr. Brennan, what's the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth moves for sentencing. We recommend a probation 1-year 24D program.
So the standard that everybody else gets on their first time OUI?
Yes.
Certainly.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm happy to do it. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you all.
1 year probation on docket number 002, the lesser included offense of operating under the influence was 1 year probation.
Oh my gosh.
The 24D program is. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. For those just tuning in, Karen was found
Goodbye.
not guilty. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. I'm such a nerd. I told y'all I'd cry. I just can't help it. I can't help it. I cannot. I am so happy. I'm so happy. I can't believe we finally got through this. I can't believe it. Gosh, this is so hard, but so great. So, Karen was found not guilty on counts 1 and 3, and they found her guilty on the lesser on count 2, which was drinking and driving with the blood alcohol of 0.008% or 0.8%, whatever. And they went ahead and did the sentencing today, and thank God the Commonwealth. One of the only good things the Commonwealth did was recommend what she would have gotten on her first, and that was probation for a year, and I think enter a program. No jail time for Karen Reed. She is free. Karen Reed is free. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to collect myself, and I may try to get back with y'all later. But I love all of you. I love all my friends in Norfolk County. I love the Reeds. I pray for John's family. I hope that they can eventually see, and I really pray for his daddy. And we really need to see how we can get true justice for John O'Keefe, because he didn't have it. Karen got her justice, and now it's time we help John get his justice. But until next time, please be safe, be aware of your surroundings, and please do the right thing.